Guys, today I wanted to share with you some of the updates I've seen coming through for the past few weeks related to climate and AI. And there is a lot to talk about here. So 2 weeks ago, I was invited on stage for The Economist to share about, what are my bets as an angel investor and VC to this new thing, right? Which is this AI paradigm we're talking about, potential AGI reaching out this year or next year, and how is this going to impact decarbonization and climate for the foreseeable future? And so I had to, do some research and as one of the first user of OpenAI, back in 2020 in Southeast Asia, I've kind of tried this thing and I've been, following the journey. You can see one of my video back then, testing the coding features and the API, and that was fun, but very far from something that could radically change my workflow and my company's workflow. Because at the time I was still working on GetLinks. Um, but what we've seen for the past few months just took the whole thing to another level. And I think it's something we need to consider for climate a lot more than before. It's something that actually every industries need to really replan whatever plan they had, because this is coming much faster than anyone has expected. And yesterday was the release of the NVIDIA big announcement, and that was just massive. Basically, C3PO from Star Wars is there, and you can buy it from $100,000 US. So, yeah, Star Wars is here, guys, and we need to rethink our plans. So I'm gonna go through all of these updates with you and try to be concise and share with you what I've learned and my view on how this is going to impact the realm of decarbonization and climate. So everything started when my fellow ex-HR tech entrepreneur Brett Adcock had started this company, Figure AI, and I've been following him for the past 2 years, and it's been quite interesting, like from just an idea to really creating that robot, and that's the new video they just shared literally 2 days ago. So let's have a look at this together. So this robot, which looks really like really much like a C3PO, is actually fully responsive to vocal commands, and I think that's what's the most impressive. You can see in this video, he's also making the dishes and coffees and stuff like this. So I mean, this is just a video, but what's most impressive is that it haven't been trained just for that. He's actually been trained on a simulation over thousands and thousands of hours and actually maybe years within this virtual environment to basically be able to do any potential physical task through that simulation, so that when you use the robot in the physical world, he can pick this up very quickly. And I think that's the major change, and that's the major breakthrough that we've seen over the past few years. It's basically the leverage of this massive gaming infrastructure that Unreal Engine have been creating for video games, and all these basically gaming environment and parallel worlds that we've seen online, and apply that through the robotics, where now you can have robots basically being in the simulation of these video games and evolving with that virtual environment and all the physics of it, how to interact with the rock, how to interact with the water, etc. And then once those robots have spent, 100 years into that environment of their time, send them into the real world through our hardware. And I think that's the breakthrough. And then the question is, okay, so if we train those robots for hundreds of years in that simulation, or maybe thousands of years, how do we get enough power? Because all of that, of course, takes a lot of data centers and servers. And to me, that was kind of, where I was like, yeah, these robots is cool, but nobody gonna be able to afford this. It's gonna be like $1 million per robot, or no one is going to be able to afford to really have the training of these robots because it's just gonna cost too much energy to have them trained with the data centers for 1,000 years to realize that small task. 1,000 years of their time again. But then we've seen yesterday a massive breakthrough in the world of GPUs in data centers. And that's what actually, to me, is changing everything now. So let's watch this video together a little bit, skimming through. But basically, you can see the CEO of NVIDIA sharing that they are at the verge of creating a new industrial revolution. And basically, you can watch this video yourself, but I watched it through, and just to summarize it, this power of GPUs have been just accelerating, following the curve of the Moore law, and the announcement of NVIDIA yesterday was they are basically able to create a petaflop, which is a lot of data and a lot of power of transistor power now with their latest chip. And their latest chip is basically being released yesterday through this conference. And this cool guy with a rock band jacket was showing his baby, which is like 1,000 times better than anything else we've seen in the past. And yeah, just like that, he basically locked his company valuation uh, to the valuation that it was, which was already crazy. I think we were around $1.2 trillion. But with this announcement, he basically locked it to 1.2, and I will not be surprised if NVIDIA valuation over the next few weeks is going to top 2 trillion, or maybe in the next few years. But he's basically saying, okay, I've got all the power to make your AI robots dream happen with these chips. And just like that, the whole world have been blown away for the past 24 hours, or at least in the tech world. And all my friends are texting me about this, and it's been pretty insane. But yeah, this changes everything. I think we are at an Apple moment right now, very much like when we were together seeing the first iPhone. I think, yeah, we just have NVIDIA announcing the beginning of advanced robotics for everybody, because these robots are in the labs, but they are also very much coming to our homes very soon. I'm gonna get there in a minute, but basically, NVIDIA is training those robots, and all these robots are being trained through NVIDIA products. And OpenAI is a partner of NVIDIA, Microsoft, etc. Everybody uses GPUs from NVIDIA basically. So this is not even the future. This is like happening at the beginning of 2024, and we're not even like a fucking half of the year. We're just even not finishing the first quarter. So this is insane. And on top of that, this guy uh, just figured that he could, have fun. And since he's taking everything, he could also take my name. So let me have you guys watch this. Quite fun.
by following natural language instructions.
Hi, Joanne. Can you give me a high five?
Sure thing. Let's high five.
Can you give us some cool moves?
This guy is just stealing my name right here. Hi, Joanne. Can you give me an high five? You could have found any other robot name. They decided to take mine. So I had to do this video for you guys. But anyway, this is super impressive. I think the progress we've seen over the past few years with ChatGPT was already something that starts to change our lives. A lot of my friends, actually, I think 70% of my friends are using OpenAI, ChatGPT at least once a week. Now we are seeing those actual humanoids robots to be soon ready. And when I say soon, is probably before the end of the year to be bought by some companies to replace laborers, and that's quite a thought. It's something to really think about. Now, 3 weeks ago, I was like, yeah, this is fine. We don't have enough power. Boom, NVIDIA announced this one. And then I was like, oh, this is fine. We don't have the cost of this robot is just going to be too expensive. And this is when we discovered this company. So this is probably a big deal so this is probably a big deal. And when I say big deal, possibly as much as the NVIDIA announcement I just shared with you guys. This is a robot that is very similar to the robot you could see in the video, very similar to what figures have been able to do. And this robot is actually able to walk and talk and operate different tasks. And he's pretty cool. Of course, we keep the robot again. Fine, he can walk. Okay, this is a terrible, moment for that robot. But basically, let me skim through this. This robot can do everything we talked about earlier, respond to vocal commands, etc. And it's only at the price of $90,000. So this is to me like the big factor, right? What are the economics? And yeah, $90,000, you can buy a Lambo, or you can have your own robot cooking for you at home, responding on voice commands. That is a breakthrough. I think the price is the major factor for the adoption of these new technologies, as always. But I think $90,000, if you think about this, some companies are already going to buy those robots to perform dangerous tasks rather than dealing with blue collars and the insurance and all this stuff. So and this is just this year. So can you imagine 2-3 years from now we're gonna get down to $50,000, $30,000, and then you use your capex. You basically pay back that investment within 2 or 3 years. And then you have somebody that works for you for less than $5,000 a year, and I don't think a lot of blue collars are going to be able to compete with that, partially in the high value and high risk type of jobs. So this is something we all need to consider for all industries, period. Now, we're looking at climate. What does it do? What can we use this momentum? What can happen to our industry, taking in consideration that we now have this AGI coming probably next few years, and those humanoid robots probably available for some companies over the next 2 to 5 years. So this is where it got interesting for me. And that's what I was sharing on stage at The Economist is the direct application of one element of this AI is actually has been on the move from Google DeepMind applied to the research of new materials. So this is the website of Google and DeepMind, and as you can see, this is an incredible work they've been doing. They had this AI tool called Genomi, basically using AI and machine learning to find different molecules that could be stabilized on Earth and in space. And out of these 2.2 million new crystals and materials, they have found 380,000 that actually could be used for us on the conditions of the atmosphere of the planet Earth for powering new technologies. So when you think about this, what is really important at this moment for climate is for us to be able to absorb the energy from the sun or from the waves or from the wind and be able to store it at night when we most need it. And basically the actual layer that we have been lacking for the past 20 years since the first clean tech 1.0 wave has been the battery. This is an AI that could basically, through their simulation research and large learning models, find the next battery materials. And this is something that is done just by itself. You put electricity, this AI is finding new materials, and they have this incredible robot that is actually able to synthesize with a robotical arm those new materials in the real environment. And this thing is so good that it's actually creating those new materials that might not even exist on Earth, that might have not even existed anywhere, and it's able to synthesize them on a completely automated manner, 24/7, without any human intervention. And if there is something that breaks, this whole thing is sealed to avoid any hazard. So this is just, this is just the dream come true from any scientist. And think about having 100 of these guys discovering new materials for housing, for electromagnetic powers, for lasers, for telecommunication, and the next Wi-Fi. Think about this. This is not the future. This is the past. This DeepMind stuff has been operating for probably 2 or 3 years already. And Google is patenting all these new recipes for new materials. So if someone is going to invent invisible material, it's going to be one of these guys. If somebody is going to crack the next generation of batteries for your home and your solar panels or your car, this is one of these guys, and this is the reality. So the breakthrough of climate technologies, I believe, are seriously going to be reinvented thanks to those robotical arms here in Berkeley for Google DeepMind, but potentially from these also humanoid robots that are coming to market over the next few years. And that is a game changer. So this is just an example, but you can also think about other example. In fact, we have looked through more than 800 robotical innovations that are applied in climate. Let me show you. So this is an incredible research done by the Climate Robotics Network, which I think those guys are amazing. This is an open source community screening those robotical innovations that are applied to climate and positive solutions for the world and for the planet. So really kudos to those guys. If you want to donate to their foundations or encourage them, please do. This is amazing work, really. And so I've been looking at this with my team quite a lot over the past few months. This is a lot of really interesting stuff here. Let me pull some examples for you guys to see how is this convergence of this industrial revolution of humanoid robots and AI is potentially going to really deeply reshape our relationship with climate technology. So this is an example, air forestry. They're creating those automated robots that are helping take care of the forest. And so, as you can see, this thing is pretty crazy. They are basically going into the forest, cutting trees by themselves, taking the trees out. So this is just an incredible innovation, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this, particularly in the MRV space, where a lot more conservation parks are being set up due to carbon trading and others. So that's a zero human maintenance that is now possible through these robotical innovation applied to climate, and in this case biodiversity conservations as well. So this is another company, one that actually we got the chance to connect with recently, and they do AI applied to building retrofitting. And so that's the space where with Atlas Capital we were very much interested in. So we had the chance to talk to them, and on top of that, they were actually featured on that list. And so what they do is they are scanning buildings. They scan the heat holes and basically all the holes in the house that can have a temperature impact, and it's called thermography. And the heat leaks or heat holes in buildings, they're able to organize them into a digital twin that then creates suggestions for the homeowner to fix those heat leaks and be able to save money by spending less air conditioning or spending less heater. And so this is really much where the AI and the large machine learning models combined with saving electricity can actually make a lot of money, a lot of savings to homeowners to optimize their assets. So that's a very interesting example of AI applied to climate as well, that in this case is very relevant for our investment thesis with Atlas Capital. And then another aspect, we work a lot with family offices that have a very large industrial complex. Some of them in the energy sector. And so we talk a lot about wind farming, and to me, wind farming is good, but not as good because the maintenance of those wind farms is a big expense. And those very large turbines, usually you have to replace them over 15-20 years, and sometimes they break, so you lose a lot of momentum here. So this company called First Airborne is mixing climate tech with robotics by creating those no manned drones that are actually taking care of the maintenance for these wind turbines, where sending people there, humans on top of these 50 meters high turbine can be very expensive. And so they are literally saving a lot of money to those wind farms owners, and that's, I think, a really wonderful innovation for the space of renewables, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a lot of adoption for this type of solution if they can make it really useful. I mean, a lot of people who are doing maintenance are going to be replaced by those drones, and it's bad, but maybe it will also save some lives because there's a lot of accidents with those maintenance. So this is a third example of how I see climate and AI are actually going to be working together in the future, and there's a lot more example I could share, but I just wanted to give you guys a glimpse of what I think is happening at the moment, and how it could be something that could be redefining really a lot of different aspects of my job, and probably a lot of different aspects of your job too. So I just wanted to have this conversation with myself, but also with you guys. So please, share what you think. Are you for those humanoid robots to come and help save the planet? If yes, then how? What solutions have you seen? I will be very curious to hear what you guys have been seeing and what you guys think about this topic, because that's something that we are looking at quite closely with Atlas, and yeah, I'm super excited about the future, and this is one of the elements that makes me even more excited to wake up in the morning as we're entering that new industrial revolution. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I interact with you in the comments, and we see you very soon. Peace.